In today's video, we'll be looking at a pretty huge game that's been confirmed for the PlayStation 5. Yes, it's a game that's already coming out on the PlayStation 4, however, the quality of the game is definitely going to be accentuated on the PS5, and we'll cover why Techland is so committed to bringing Dying Light 2 to next-generation platforms. Also, Cyberpunk 2077, while it's due out in early 2020, we are going to be getting some more content of that game. It's going to be exhibited at Gamescom 2019, gameplay presentations to be held each day. We'll highlight the information you need to know about that. Also, several new games are joining the PlayStation Now lineup in August with Fallout 4, Doom, Tekken 7, and much more. Some high-quality games being added. And we'll take a look at all of those. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, personally speaking, Dying Light 2 is one of those games that I am highly anticipating. Maybe some of you guys aren't as excited for the game as me because you didn't play Dying Light the following. And I've always been recommending you guys to pick that up. I believe it's on sale right now. Even if it's not on sale at this very moment, it goes on sale from time to time and you can get it easily under $15 or right around that price point. And it's a great game. It was an earlier PlayStation 4 release, so I can imagine why many of you guys missed out on it, but it was a great open world survival horror game, and now we have Dying Light 2 and it's looking to amplify the experience in just about every area. However, if you played the first Dying Light, you know that that was a game that was really catered to providing these high quality visuals, and with Dying Light 2, it does look very visually impressive, but the question is, how much of that is going to be limited running on the base PlayStation 4 and even the PlayStation 4 Pro? At the point in 2020, the PlayStation 4 is going to be a little bit dated, and Techland is aware of that, and in a conversation with WCCF Tech, Techland, the company behind the upcoming release of Dying Light 2, said this, quote, "Techland always has an eye on the latest new toys. To be more specific, yes, the plan since the beginning of production has been to make Dying Light 2 a cross-generation title." Now, that is incredibly exciting for me. Now, it was noted that Dying Light 2 is currently expected to release in the early portion of 2020, so even if you're waiting for the PlayStation 5, if you want to play Dying Light 2 on the PS5, you're gonna have to wait a little bit, given that the PlayStation 5 is not gonna be out until late 2020. Personally speaking, I'm really excited for Dying Light 2 and I'm probably going to snag the game right when it comes out. However, if it's priced accordingly on the PlayStation 5, throw in some additional content, I think there's going to be a lot of reason for people to also check out the game on the PlayStation 5. And I offer you this. How about this idea? The PlayStation 5 is said to feature backwards compatibility. What if we could insert that disc and get a discounted digital version of the PlayStation 5 copy? They actually did something like that on the PlayStation 3 when all of those cross-gen titles were coming out. I remember doing it with Call of Duty Ghosts, but if you bought the digital download of that game, you could play the game on the PlayStation 3, and come the release of the PlayStation 4, you could just spend $10 and also get the PlayStation 4 version. If they offered something like that for Dying Light 2 and all of these other games that are without a doubt getting a cross-generation version, I think that would be a great idea, because not too many people are going to want to drop $60 on the PlayStation 4 version, then drop another $60 on the PlayStation 5 version, and then if they're going to release DLC after that, I mean, come on, that's a little bit excessive. Hopefully they do go that route once again, and I imagine if they do want to cater towards gamers and make sure that consumers pick it up on every platform, that is what they'll do. I think that's a great idea. Also, a game that very likely could be a cross-generation title, I think it's all but confirmed to be a cross-gen game, Cyberpunk 2077. Yes, it's also coming early 2020 on the PlayStation 4. We have a date for that, April 16th. However, Cyberpunk 2077 is also another game that's going to be a little visually limited on the PlayStation 4. Now, I say that, but CD Projekt Red are wizards when it comes to the technical side of things. I mean, they're porting The Witcher 3 to the goddamn Nintendo Switch. How they're doing that blows my mind, but nonetheless, even with their prowess and optimization, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be a little bit limited, and I imagine that a PlayStation 5 release will be coming at some point. However, that's not what I want to talk about. More specifically, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to get brand new content come Gamescom 2019. That includes gameplay presentations that are going to be held every day of the event. Attendees will be able to watch Cyberpunk 2077 being played live by members of the development team at the game's booth, which is located in Hall 6 stand CO49. These presentations will take place from August 21st to 24th. In addition to the public showing, media and trade visitors will be able to see a behind closed doors showing of the game from August 20th to the 22nd. It seems like at all of these big events, CD Projekt Red always has these behind closed door demos, which is a little bit of a bummer. However, with the last behind closed doors demo, or rather the one we saw in E3 2018, that one eventually did make its way out to the public as well, and that was that massive, 45-50 minute gameplay demo that really sold everyone on the game itself. So hopefully we see all of the behind closed doors stuff at some point, although at this this point, I don't even care because I'm sold on Cyberpunk 2077. Why ruin the surprise and show me more content of the game? Every time I check the comments section, it seems like all of you guys are all in on Cyberpunk 2077. Do you really need to see more gameplay outside of the stuff we've already seen at this point? I don't really think too many more copies of the game are going to be sold just by showing more gameplay, and rather, I would rather go into Cyberpunk 2077 at this point completely blind and not knowing what to expect, because that's how I think it's going to enhance my experience the most. That's just my 2 cents. Maybe you guys see it differently and you want to see as much gameplay of the game as possible. However, outside of the game itself, CD Projekt Red will also host the first offline qualifier of the official Cyberpunk 2077 cosplay contest. That event will take place on August 23rd and see participants compete for the title of the most authentic Cyberpunk 2077 cosplay. The first place prize includes $2,000 Cyberpunk 2077 inspired merchandise and a spot in the cosplay contest grand finale sporting a $30,000 prize pool. Again, that's something cool that's being included as well, so I imagine coming out of Gamescom, we're gonna get some pretty cool Cyberpunk cosplay. The game itself is due out for the PlayStation 4 on April 16th, 2020, and again, I wouldn't be all too surprised if a PlayStation 5 version is also released, maybe even by the end of 2020. Okay, moving on from that, PlayStation Now is getting a significant new update come the month of August with a slew of new games being added. This was confirmed by Brian Dunn over on the PlayStation blog. Dunn is the senior marketing manager of PlayStation Now, and he noted, "Hello PlayStation Now fans, August is here, summer is almost over." That is a bummer to think about. However, that means that the game releases are gonna ramp up, and we've got a lineup of big heavy hitters joining the PlayStation Now library starting on August 6th. Now clocking in at more than 800 games in all, enjoy the award-winning open-world RPG shooter Fallout 4, the brutal remake of the classic first-person shooter Doom, intense fighting in Tekken 7, the alternate history shooter Wolfenstein: The New Order, and many more. That is awesome. Those 4 games highlighting the PlayStation 4 roster of games being added, I think that is top-notch. Doom is an exceptional first-person shooter that I highly recommend, and given that Doom Eternal is due out later this year, now wouldn't be a bad time to play that game. And by the way, Doom is still going for a significant price on the PlayStation Store. I believe it's $15 as a part of the QuakeCon sale, which is kind of crazy. I feel like at this point that game should be a little bit cheaper. Steam is actually running a QuakeCon sale as well, and Doom is $6 as a part of that sale. So figure that one out, but nonetheless, Doom being added is great. Fallout 4, a pretty nice little addition. I know Fallout 4 isn't generally recognized by the majority of gamers as the best game in the Fallout franchise, but it is a great game in its own right. Unfortunately, not the DLC included with it, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Would have been great if it was the Game of the Year edition, but I might be asking for a little bit too much when it comes to that. Tekken 7 is a great fighting game, one of my favorites of this generation, so great to see that being added, and Wolfenstein: The New Order is a great first-person shooter as well. Outside of that, a couple of other games are being included as well. Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate are all being added. Those are PlayStation 3 titles, so not directly downloadable, but Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1 is a fantastic game. Lords of Shadow 2, not quite as good, but Lords of Shadow 1 definitely one worth checking out. And a couple of other PlayStation 4 titles are being added as well, including Monster Energy Supercross, MotoGP 17, The Raven Remastered, and that does round out the August update for PlayStation Now. I know at this point, PlayStation Now is still not everyone's favorite service, and I would not recommend you guys to pay, what is it, the $80 or $100 a year? I believe it's $100 a year if you do sign up for the yearly subscription. It's $20 month to month. Do not do that. Wait for PlayStation Now to go on sale. I believe during the Days of Play event, it was down to like $60. You should be paying around that price point for your year subscription. Don't pay that full $100. If you're paying, you know, $70, $80, that's a lot more palatable, because at that point, you're going, what, $8 month to month? If you're going $20 every month, that is just way too expensive. And comparatively speaking, that Xbox Game Pass is only $10 a month. Yes, it doesn't offer the game streaming, however, it does offer the newly released Microsoft exclusives. And I know what you guys are going to say, oh, does Microsoft have any exclusives? Well, they are getting Gears of War 5. They are getting a brand new Halo at some point. There are a couple of interesting titles coming to Xbox and Game Pass. And it does have the better roster of games when you look at it from the top tier lineup of games. They've got Monster Hunter World on there, Shadow of Tomb Raider. There are some high quality games on there. And right now with PS Now, they're more so adding the backlog and the history of the PlayStation 4's library, not the most recent games, which is fine. But that $20 a month price point, in my opinion, isn't fine. But nonetheless, the August update is rather good with all of the new games they're adding with that. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, Dying Light 2 is planned to be released on the the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be exhibited at Gamescom 2019. Gameplay presentations every day, and they are holding a cosplay contest, so do expect some cool cosplay coming out of that. And the August update for PlayStation Now is pretty substantial. Again, Fallout 4, Doom, Tekken 7, and Wolfenstein: The New Order, so good stuff there. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.